Good evening, everyone. Baruch Hashem, we picked up a great night for a lecture. Again, the Goyish culture that destroy us, Super Bowl, super whatever, Superman. Every year I speak in a Super Bowl. And in the end, there's a nice turnaround. I said last year right here, I was standing right here last year, if you remember. Is it every day the same date? Every year the same date? Huh? First Sunday? Or February? Okay, so it wasn't exactly the same date. But I was saying last year here, I remember it like it was yesterday, that tonight, you can see who really loves Hashem and who is fake. That's the opportunity to see tonight. When a person comes to his court, to his trial, I promise you, without any doubt, that this moment will be a key moment in his trial. For all the people who claim they love Hashem and love the Torah, if they stay home to watch that stupid game, Hashem will tell them stories you can tell your friends, not to me. Cannot tell me you love me if you prepare a bunch of goyim runs after a piece of leather, then to come to listen to a good lecture. You cannot convince me you love my Torah. And on the other hand, the Jews that gave it up, for those who have desire for sport, which is stupid to begin with. It's a very foolish desire. But for those who have this desire, no, what can you do? You're sick. You're trying to recover from your sickness. But those who have this desire and gave it up for the Torah, that definitely can help them a lot. That's a very good point. The situation in the world is more critical than ever. Every hour you hear on the news when Israel will attack in Iran, when Israel will attack in Iran, when United States will attack, when Israel will attack. Now they're having articles about it. They're already analyzing how it's going to be from inside, from the outside. No one is ashamed to talk about this. A few months ago, nobody dared to talk about an attack like this openly on television, interviews, which means it seems to be a matter of time. Just a matter of another week, another month. Nobody knows what to expect when this moment would happen, because nobody really knows what Iran has and what they don't have. They may already have an atomic bomb. They're not foolish, these Iranians. Not at all. They already have missiles that can reach New York. Everyone in New York worry about Israel. What's going to happen to the Israelis? You never know what can happen. When you deal with crazy people, everything is possible. When you attack them, the next thing you find out, an atomic bomb fell in the middle of New York with a missile. You don't know what to expect. They have terrorists all over the world, with the Hezbollah, with this, all over the world. They have network. Not only the Israeli has the Mossad, they have their own network. And like I said, they're not dumb. You understand? They have fake passports. They're around here. You can see them in a vegetable stand. You don't know who they are. They'll be Iranian spies. And they can have a bomb in a suitcase. Right, so it's very easy to smuggle from Canada to here. Every fool can smuggle anything he wants. I hardly check. You know, I go a lot to Canada. Sometimes I drive. What they check? They ask you questions and you come in. All they need is a Persian American that were born in America and is fanatic Muslim and go to Iran through Europe and become one of their activists, and can next thing smuggle a bomb here and blow up 10 million people. So the situation is critical. It's not if it will happen, the question is now when it's going to happen. What can we do? We, as people who try to live the moment, to live the hour, what can we do? So first of all, even though a person may think, what am I compared to this creation, 7 billion people, what can I change the world with? Big deal. If I be more righteous, it's going to prevent an attack. There's less people going to die. Well, what's the point? It's a lost game. It's already a lost case. There's really no chance. What can I do? Let's say I become fully religious. I make tshuva. I'll be mamash, Hashem is proud of me. Is he going to change his plans for the world or what's going to be in the world? just because of me, you'll be surprised. The Gemara say clearly yes. Clearly. What? We have a proof from Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was one person in a world of very wicked people. Millions of people live in Sodom and Gomorrah. There's 5 cities like Manhattan, full of horrible things, full of the worst thing you can think of. All the despicable to'evot, the despicable things that the Torah mentioned in any ways you can think of, were happening there. And Hashem is about to throw an atomic bomb made in heaven. Not made in Iran or Russia, made in heaven. Directly from the sky on their head. And that's what happened in the end. They all got killed. Nobody really knows the numbers. Could be hundreds of thousands, could be millions, could be tens of millions of people. There's really no way to know. It's about 3,700 years ago. And Avraham having an argument with Hashem, and Hashem is telling him clearly, I'm taking your opinion into consideration. You are, the Goyim told him, you are the president of God among us. Nasi Elokim ata bekirbenu. The Goyim knew he's a special person. Even later, when his grandson Yaakov went to Egypt, Pharaoh gave him a lot of respect. And they gave him the city of Goshen, all the Leviim. The Leviim don't even, when the slavery even started, the Leviim don't have to work. Why? They were learning Torah. This is important people. So a person can change a lot. And if you cannot save the world, maybe you can save your city. If you cannot save your city, maybe you can save your family. Noach saved his family. His family didn't deserve to be saved. But Noach, ish tzadik tamim bedorotam, and his son Shem. But the other 2 were not righteous, but they got saved thanks to their father merit. So you can save your family, you can save maybe your children, you can save your parents, you can save your your wife. You can save people. Remember, even when the American dropped an atomic bomb in Japan, not everyone died. Some people made it. Yes, some of them became sick, and the 3rd generation, they still have all these problems, but some people got out clean. Nothing happened to them. Miracle. When Hashem wants, a miracle can happen. The point is now that we've been talking for years already what's going to happen in days of Mashiach, when the Mashiach comes, what's really going to be. And the question is, before Mashiach comes, now we have a situation in the world that many Jews are becoming more and more religious. I just came back from Eretz Israel, from Israel. I went around. I see cities that 20, 30 years ago, nobody was religious there. They closed the streets on Shabbat. More synagogues. People are more aware of religion. Even today in the Israeli Knesset, one secular minister got up and spoke to Imach Shimo Ahmed Tibi, a hater of Israel that sits in the Knesset. That's the price of democracy, that your enemy sitting in the government and make decision against us. And he was giving him a very interesting speech. A secular minister, Mechalel Shabbat. Finally, they're starting to become clever a little bit. I always wonder why they never use the Torah. The Arabs are the ones who always say the Torah is real. Use the Torah against them. If they come and say it's the book of God, use it when you argue. So finally they got clever. After 4 years I'm saying, what's going on here? Why they don't use the Torah and the Quran, even though we know the Quran is not divine. But for them, they think it's divine. Use the Quran against them. Use their own book to show them that the land belongs to us. That we are the chosen people. Even the Quran say it. Who do you think called us Am HaSefer, the nation of the book? Muhammad. Where does it say that Israel belongs to the Jews? Not only in the Torah, also in the Quran. So the argument is over before it started. So this minister, his name is Arden, Gilad Arden, that's his name. I posted it on my Facebook page. For those who understand Hebrew, you can read. It's only 2-3 minutes. He said to him, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. He said to Ahmed Tibi, Machshimo. He said to him like this, do you know, everyone asked, Rashi, he said to him, Rashi, Rashi is the most important commentator on the Torah. Everybody agree. Rashi writes, why the Torah didn't start with receiving the Torah, accepting the Torah? Parashat Yitro, we're coming now to Parashat Yitro this Shabbat. This is the acceptance of the Torah. Why it comes in the middle of the Torah in Sefer Shmot, close to the end, almost Vayikra? Why it doesn't start in the Torah, how the Torah was given, and from there on? Why it starts, Bereshit bara Elokim ta shamayim? Rashi writes, Hashem wanted to show the world who is the boss of the land, who created the land, who is the boss of the land, and what does Rashi say? Koach ma'asav higid le'amo. The strength of his actions, he wanted to inform the world about his abilities. And he decided to give the land to his children. When he wants, he takes it. When he wants, he gives it. Doesn't matter who was there before, who was there after. It's in the Torah. I want you now to get the land. I take the 7 nations that sit there and I throw them out. Now it's your land. Doesn't matter. Even though, without a doubt, the Jews were there way before the Palestinians, that it's only a fake nation who started 2 generations ago. 100 years ago, there was nothing like that. That's besides the point. But even the arguments between Arabs in general, which is an old nation, to the Jews, it's not relevant. Why? Because in the Torah that the Arabs admit that is the land of Israel, God say, I'm the master of the land. That's it. What's the argument? If I want you to live there, it's like a father who owns a house, and he has few children. Now he said to one of them, you live here. And a year later, he doesn't like him. He said, okay, leave the house. And he called the brother, it's your house now. Anyone can do anything? He's the owner of the house. So the other one said, no, but I was there first. He argued with his brother. Who cares? Our father threw you out, and he put me there. That's it. End of arguments. We move on. They just made, 2 or 3 days ago, they published that Facebook is becoming now public. You know, they want $100 billion. The value of Facebook, $100 billion. Even though you can do a lot of helpful things with such a network, it's also a very dangerous thing that it can make revolutions in hours, in countries. This is really what's happening by the Arabs, that up to the time that there was Facebook, the Arabs, they hated their dictators, but they never made a beep. Because everyone think, what am I able to do on my own? Who would I connect with? All the people, all the anarchists like me, where are they? How would I locate them? And today, when it's all can be anonymously with fake names and all kinds of things, you can attract millions of people who think like you. You get confident. It starts with 1 demonstration, 2, 3, 4. The next thing, it's a revolution. What would take 50 years can take now an hour. By the Arabs, there's only one problem, is that they can never, ever make democracy in their country. Because their culture is built on murder and blood and power. So they're not going to be able to be civilized and decided that, oh, you are in a government, so we will respect you. What you cannot get in election, you get with the power of the sword. That's how Islam started. That's how the Arabs were always, in history, the Torah say, a wild beast, pere Adam. There's nothing you can do. Democracy is not for people who understand power of guns and swords and kill their own wives because they're not modest, or their own girls. Just this week in Canada, a father and his son killed 4 of their daughters. Why? Because they're not modest enough in Canada. So let's really analyze what happened here. The claim that the girls are now too modern and they became Canadian and they're not modest anymore, 100% they're right. They're right. The girls they're not modest according to the Quran, which copy from the Torah, the laws of modesty. But between that, for a father to murder his own 4 girls, putting them in a car and drown them in a lake, this is just show you who we deal with here. Even in the Torah, that the Torah gave permission to the Jewish court to execute people for being Mechalel Shabbat or for being a murderer, etc., etc., the Gemara said that once every 70 years they executed one person, and that was a cruel court. Cruel, not merciful. a strict court once every 7 years. They did everything they can not to execute people. Everything they can. Even though hundreds deserve to die every year for their sins. But they did everything they can to find some kind of a contradiction between the witnesses, that our hand will not have to spill the blood of the wicked people. It starts with Abraham. Abraham is crying to save the wicked people. What do you care? Let God destroy all these wicked people. What's the problem? Abraham is fighting for them. Noah did not pray for the wicked people. 120 years he built the ark, but he did not pray for them. So when the flood came and all of them died, the Navi Yeshaya, prophet Isaiah, what did he write? Ve'amayim mei Noachem. And the water is the water of Noah. It's his fault. Why it's his fault? He didn't pray for the wicked people to get saved. Who cares? Let them all die. It's very good that the wicked people are dying. The world become a better place. The Gemara says when the wicked people sleep, it's good for them and it's good for the world. When the righteous people sleep, it's bad for them, bad for the world. Why? The righteous person, when he goes to sleep, he loses mitzvot. When he's up, every minute or two, he does some mitzvah. He learns Torah, he prays, he does some things, you know. But when he sleeps, he's losing it. But when the wicked person is sleeping, it saves him from making sins, because normally that's all he does. He makes sins. So now when he sleeps, he cannot do any harm. So if they sleep forever, what's the problem? So the Gemara brings a story about Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. Rabbi Meir, the legendary Tana, his wife was a very big Chachama. Usually you normally hear about Chacham, but Bruria is very, very big in Torah. She sits with tefillin. I don't know where she was putting the tefillin because her hair was covered. It was under her cover. There was no wigs in those days. Definitely not like today. But she was putting under her cover, she puts the tefillin, like the Kabbalists, they cover it with a tzitzit. And she was sitting and learning Gemara all day. And argue with the Chachamim, Bruria, and always winning the arguments. That's how big she was. So the Gemara said that Rabbi Meir was walking in his neighborhood and there was a gang. There's a gang. They pick on him. They're giving hard time to the rabbi. So he started to pray that they'll die. So his wife told him, why are you praying that they die? You should pray that they make tshuva, that they become righteous. Didn't the pasuk say, itamu chataim min haaretz? Not itamu chotim. Itamu means we're finished. It says the sins should be finished from the land, not the sinners. She gave him a proof. And he admitted that she's right, and he changed his prayer. Started to pray that they'll make tshuva, and they did make tshuva in the end. You know how many you have, according to all the statistics, there's more than 1 million Baalei Tshuva. If the religious people of 20, 30 years ago would pray that all the sinners would die, you wouldn't have this million Baalei Tshuva. Think about it. 1 million Baalei Tshuva, another generation will be 20 million religious people. If they pray that they died, we wouldn't have this million Baalei Tshuva. So how many religious people we have in the world? 400,000? 300,000? Today you have close to 2 million people. That's thanks to all the movement of the Tshuva, which is very good. Somebody asked me on Shabbat, tell me, what would happen if the movement of Tshuva in Israel would continue and the religious people would be the majority in the Knesset? There will be more than 61%. There's 120 members. 62 of them and higher would be religious, and there will be the government. What would happen in Israel? That's the dream of every religious person. Don't be so sure. Let me explain to you why. The Torah says, the same way there is an obligation to say something that people can accept, there's also an obligation not to say something that people cannot accept, which means they cannot digest. Not all the time is a mitzvah to come to a sinner and tell him the truth in his face. Sometimes it can turn the situation much worse than what he was. Let me give you an example. In Iran, the government tried to force the law of the Quran on all the secular Iranians, the students, all the modern Iranians who hate the Quran, who hate the Muslim religion. There are hundreds of thousands of them in universities. Every intellectual student is much higher chance that he won't be fanatic like the rest of the people, the primitive. Even though many of them are fanatic Muslim, even though they go to colleges there in Iran, but many of them are not, they're not interested in this kind of culture. So what happened? When the government was trying to force, in the last 30 years or 40 years since this Khomeini came from France, and they tried to force the law of the Quran on the Iranians, few times they rebel against the religion authority. They're very close, few months ago or a year ago, to make a revolution in Iran, if you remember. But the government had to kill tens of thousands of people and torture tens of thousands of them in places in order for them not to lose control. The Russian helps them, all kinds of things. In the end, they depress all the secular people. If Israel will become a religious government, it will be a lot worse. First, the number one country in Facebook is Israel. On average, Israel, that's what the Facebook published. From all the countries in the world, an average Israeli spend 2,500 hours a year in Facebook. Addicted to Facebook, almost all day for hours.
More than the United States?
More than United States. It used to be Thailand number one and Israel number two. Now Israel by far is number one in Facebook. People are more addicted to it in Israel than any other place in the world. So what would happen now if you have a religious government who would try to make Shabbat an official rest day? No one is allowed to be Mechalel Shabbat. And you have 2 or 3 million people that are not religious. Now you have to force Shabbat on them. What do you think would happen? 2 possibilities. One, all of them would leave Israel. That's the best scenario. So Israel will be a much smaller country, but mostly people who respect religion. The other possibility is that's going to be a war between brothers, just like in the Arab countries. A war. Demonstration, burning synagogues, burning discotheques. It's going to be a revolution. The Arabs will see that that's what's happening in Israel. They join the party. That's very dangerous. Second, let's say a prime minister become a big rabbi now. What's the first thing he has to do? He has to go to Tel Aviv and close all the gay bars, all the places. Horrible. Tel Aviv, number one, despicable, number one place for all these despicable kinds of crimes that people do against Hashem. So first thing he will have to do is close all these clubs, all these bars, all these places, library, book, shows, videos, all kinds of dirt that is not permitted in any religious country, Christian, Muslim, or any. They're not going to give up. There's going to be a big problem. That's why the Torah say that only Mashiach will clean the land. Nobody really can do the job. We can only do as much as we can. We try to make more and more people religious. To clean the dirt completely from Israel, we don't have the strength. Even if it's going to be 80% religious people, all of them Shomer Shabbat, the 20% will die to stay secular. Because this is a big threat for them. They give their life for it. They'll do everything they can not to surrender to the religion. That's how much they hate the religion as of now. Imagine if the religion will be forced on them, it's going to be a much, much bigger disaster. So the answer is, when Mashiach comes, all these wicked people will be vanished in a minute. The Chazal are teaching us that Behevel Piv, the Mashiach will start saying verses from the Torah and all the wicked people will be burned up in 1 second. They'll demonstrate, they'll make a demonstration against the Mashiach. They go to fight against him. Jews. Which kind of people? Erev Rav. The descendants of the Erev Rav that came out of Egypt. All the Egyptians that Moshe Rabbeinu convert will all gather together to go and fight against Mashiach. Because they don't understand what does it mean, Mashiach. They think it's another hero king, like King David and all the other famous kings in history. So what's the big deal? Let's fight to the end. Until we die. One way or the other, it's better to stay secular, or if not, better to die. That's what they think. So we might as well die for our freedom, right? So what's going to be? They come against Mashiach, and he begins to say psukim, and all of them vanished in a second. This is one of the prophecies. Behevel piv sorfam. Without weapon. Doesn't need bombs, army, this, that, revolution, fighting, rebellions. No. You just say words. And they all burn right away. All the wicked people who goes and fight against Hashem's religion. But until it's going to happen, there's nothing we can do. We can only try to do everything we can to persuade and convince more and more Jews to see the truth. Many of them live in the darkness. All you have to do is knock on their back. Excuse me, here is a CD. Watch it. What do you have to lose? Try. Buy them a gift. Invite them. Do something for them. Something to convince them. You know, when people want money, they're very good salespeople. They don't give up. They call again, sending email. I'm just checking. Anything changed? Did you change your mind? Can I take you to lunch? Well, when it comes to save your brothers and sisters' eternity, nothing is precious. There's no pressure, Rabbi. They don't want. I try once or twice. If you really want, you make them watch. I always say, what's the proof that nobody cares about anyone besides himself? What's the proof? I'm talking religious people. Us. Each one of us. What's the proof that each one of us is very egoistic and we only care about our own stomach? What's the proof? CDs cost money. Very cheap. $1 each. But it costs money. If you want to give 100 CDs, it would cost you $100. Some people are very stingy. It kills them. So they rather die than spend $100 on somebody else. So they don't care. Okay, let them stay secular. What, I'm going to spend $100 to give my friends CDs? Maybe 2, 3 of them or 10 of them will become Shomer Shabbat. What do I care about this? I'll take the $100 and buy myself another steak or 2. At least I understand where they come from. But the Facebook, almost everyone is in a Facebook today. Doesn't cost a penny. When people watch a lecture on a Facebook, to click on share doesn't cost money. You have 50,000 people who watch the video. I look at the statistic. 10, 12, 13 press share. 50,000 watched, only 10, 13. What is it in percentage? 0. 13 from 50,000 people who watched that video. 13 from 50,000. Click share. How can it be? How can it be? Over here you have no excuses. Over here you have to order CD, you complain, money, you broke, you don't have money. But okay, fine. I understand your excuses, even though it's all lies. But let's assume that I believe this nonsense. But over here, what excuse you give? Male and female. Female also have obligations to make Baalei Tshuva. If you're already in the dirt that called Facebook, you might as well get something positive out of it. Better not to be there. You love Hashem, what do you have to do there? What? You don't need this. You want to listen to lecture? You put on your iPhone or whatever, all the lectures. There's a free iPhone application in my website and in many other good websites. You download everything to your phone. Thousands of hours of Torah for free. Don't have excuses that you need to be there. What for? 99% of what you see over there, it's negative. But if you're already there, you click few buttons, you can save another 10, 20 Jews a month. Maybe they'll become Shomer Shabbat by clicking few buttons. You don't do it because you don't care. Not only you don't care about them, you really don't care about Hashem. You think you're religious, but you're really not. You cannot be religious by clicking 1 or 2 buttons, which will take a second. For sure you will save some Jews that become closer to Hashem, and you don't do it. That shows you don't care about Hashem at all. 0. Anyone disagree with me? I know I'm making some strong accusation, but it's common sense. I don't see any other way to explain it. Unless if you see something here that I don't see.
They're going to block you.
They block you? What do you mean they're going to block you? What can be better than that? If a person that you send him a share to see a lecture that speaks about the creation of the world, about Shabbat, about modesty, and he blocks you. Who wants this in your page? Who wants a person like this? Better to get rid of him. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I put, about a week ago in my Facebook page, I put something that is an Israeli soldier. For those of you who saw it, you know what I'm talking about. An Israeli soldier against the Hamas terrorist, they aimed the gun on each other. Behind the Israeli soldier, there's a woman holding her baby, hiding behind him. He's protecting her with his body. And the Hamas, he's putting a woman in front of him and the baby, booby, with bombs on his neck. That's how they do. They take the babies and it's suicide bombers. It's not a lie, it's reality. And hiding behind civilians. We put it on. Of course, 90% of the people wrote, that's reality. As sad as it may look, that's reality. That's what's happening in Israel today. Between this coward terrorist to the soldier who tried to defend the land. But there is always these liberal Jews who are the biggest enemies of Israel without realizing. Some of them don't mean bad. They don't understand the damage they make to Israel. So what happened? In Israel, they call it the Smolanim. So I got maybe, 7, 8, 10%. I read the emails, I read the comments. So some of the Israelis, most of them are Russian goyim, that they are considered Israeli, but you see right away, the goyim, they went crazy out of their love to the terrorists and their hate to the innocent women and children, what we call Amalek, anti-Semitism. They went crazy, so they started to write a lot of nasty things. So I started to clean one after the other, delete them and ban them from the page. So I say one good thing happened. I got rid of 20 traders out of my page. Who wants them in my page? Same thing I say to you. Someone who is not interested to hear anything about Hashem, what do you need him in your page? Let him block you. What? Show me what. We're not talking business. Business, you want all customers to buy from you, even if they're not crazy about Jews or the Torah. No, their money is money. You sell your product. But over here, it's social, no? Who wants to social with these people? The Gemara says Rish Lakish was the head of the gangsters. Before he became Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, the Chevruta of Rabbi Yochanan, he was a criminal, a gangster. Gang, robbing people, robbers. The Gemara says after he became religious, he became a very serious rabbi. Every person who he spoke to on the street, right away all the rich people ran to that person and were willing to invest money by him without an agreement, without witnesses. So imagine now, some rabbi see you on the street, he shake your hand, hello. Right after that, a rich guy runs to you, excuse me, what's your name? Moshe. Yeah, Moshe? Yeah, can I give you $1 million to invest in your business? How do you want to invest by me if you don't know who I am? No, I don't need to know you. I saw the rabbi shaking your hand, for sure you're kosher. What do we learn from here? That after he became religious, Rish Lakish, he cleaned his past completely. Not like some of the Baalei Tshuva today. One leg in religion, one leg in the disco in Manhattan. Shabbat they keep, they do Havdalah, an hour later dancing with the Chinese, the German girls in Manhattan. What's going on here? Living in two different worlds? Sometimes I wonder who is really worse. Someone who knows the truth and does it, or someone who still lives in darkness completely. That's his life. Someone who knows the truth and still does it, doesn't look good at all. Playing with real fire. So, this is what I'm talking about. I posted on my website an image of all the CDs, all the MP3 collection, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in Hebrew, in English, all the images of the CDs. I wanted people to be able to see on every CD what lectures, because I'm tired of writing emails to people, what lectures on what CD. And if you write instruction, nobody reads it anyway. But by looking at enlarging the image of the CD, you can see which CD. And wrote over there, everyone who wants to order CD, cost price. Whatever it costs to order it, $1, that's what you pay. Not 1 cent profit. This has been going on for 1 month. How many people order CD for me? We have more than 24,000 IP addresses visiting in the website minimum in a worst month. So 24,000 faces are entering the website. How many of them orders for CDs from me? Who knows? How many CDs I shipped by people who pay for the CDs? We shipped a lot of CDs that we collect money from good Jews and make CDs and ship them for free. But how many people charge their credit card to order CDs of 25 hours of Torah for $1 on a CD? How many? Who knows?
50.
Huh? 0. 0. Hashem is my witness. It's been almost a month, like 28 days. 0. Not one person order one CD and spend $1 to save other Jews. Which already brought me to a situation that I'm that close from retiring from giving lectures. Mamash, another inch or two, that's it. I announced that I retired and it doesn't pay for me to work. Because one person cannot do the job by himself. Nobody wants to help, fine. You want the boat to sink. One person try to save the boat and everybody is getting 10. Nobody cares. Screaming, hey, let's do something. Leave us alone.
What are your statistics for your application?
On the application, on the things, a lot of people use it. It's a very common thing now. I put it about a year ago when it wasn't so common. Baruch Hashem, it picked up a lot. I was in Miami Beach. Every person who spoke to me showed me that he is already using the application, the iPhone. It's very strong over there.
So that could be the driving factor why people don't use the...
I'm sure it has something to do with that, but come on. Not even one order? What does people do with their maaser money? What are they doing with that? Buying donuts? What are they, really? I mean, give me one answer, convince me. What are people doing with their 10%? Rich, poor, whatever. Take poor people. They make a few $100s a week, they hardly pay their bills. But maaser, 10% they gotta give, no? Something. One donation a month, you have to give or no? One donation a month, $10, $20, $50. What are they doing with that? Don't they think it's the best thing to take a secular person and say, here, 25 hours of lectures, very powerful lecture. There's a very big chance he's going to become Shomer Mitzvot, and every mitzvah he does goes to your account. Very strange, mamash very strange. Very, very strange. There's no explanation. I'm trying to think to myself, what is going on here? I was sure there's some technical problem.
I really think it's your application.
No. I tell you what, if you have an application and you download everything to your phone, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking getting CDs to people who don't care about the website bichlal. They're not downloading anything. This is the business card. This is the hello. Here, he watch one CD or he listens to it. Next thing, he's going to go into the website and download everything. So he's going to get 1,000 lectures on his phone. But how will he recognize the website if you don't give him the free CD first? Right or wrong?
Right.
And also, many people today, when they finally want to do something good, they go and buy a book, $30, $35 to one of their friends. Maybe they'll read it and they become religious. First of all, let me tell you something in case you don't know. 1 out of 100 people maybe have patience to read today. 99% of the people cannot read. Either they're dyslexic or they have no patience and they're only into videos and images. It's very boring to read. They begin 1 or 2 pages, they drop the book. Most people, check. Everyone you give them a book, come a year later, you see how much dust. And when you open the book, you're going to hear, then you know they never open it. I'm telling you, it's almost pure waste of money. They just won't read it. Those days, 15, 16, 20 years ago, when we used to give books, people used to read it. I remember I used to have a book, Mesilot El HaEmunah. I used to go, and it used to cost $12 or $15. We used to give to people, 2 or 3 out of 10 would read it. Today, you give 100 books, 1 would not read it. Nobody reads. People like either to listen in a car, also not in a house. In a car, they don't have a choice. They're already stuck in traffic. So only when they really, that's it, there's no choice, they're willing to listen maybe 20, 30 minutes of Torah. Oh, it's interesting. It's not so bad. And then it catch them. I tell you an interesting story. I have a friend he has a booth that he sells Judaica stuff in Borough Park. There's a shul called Shomrei Shabbos. In 13th Avenue, I think 50th Street. One minyan after the other, all day, up, down. So over there he has a booth. And I give him a bunch of CD, and he gives them out for free. So just before I went to Israel, I got a phone call with the Yiddish accent. One of the major rabbis of Monroe, where Satmar is, he calls me up. He said to me, I picked up your CDs in Shomrei Shabbos in Borough Park. For 3 days I don't come out of my car. The only way he can hear MP3 is in a car. He doesn't have MP3 player. And sitting in a car like this for hours, try to come out, no, another 20 minutes. I have to translate your lectures to Yiddish. I said, what do you need it in Yiddish? He said, hey, as many young guys or girls, they have a lot of questions in Emunah. Since they're kids, they teach them Torah. Everyone assumed that they already take it for granted, that the Torah is from Hashem. But they have a lot of questions, these teenagers. Many of them eventually leaves the religion because they have so many questions and nobody gives answer. Because in yeshiva, they already assume that everyone is a great believer, which is a very big mistake. In yeshiva, you have to look at the kids and teach them emunah. You don't teach them emunah, large portion of them in the first opportunity would run away when they feel independent. Don't assume that they have emunah. Even if they daven a lot and all kinds of things, they have questions in emunah just like every other normal person. So he wants to translate it to Yiddish. Let's meet, he said. So okay, come to my house. He came to my house, 3 hours, he didn't leave. I was so excited of this ability to do kiruv. So hopefully soon you're going to hear CDs in Yiddish about the same topic that we talk about. For the people who you think that they're very religious and they have questions in emunah just like you have and just like the secular people has. You know, in this parasha, this Shabbat, we just read something very interesting. I don't know if you paid attention, but it says like this, Parashat Beshalach. It says like this, Vayikra Shem HaMakom, and he called the name of the place Masa Umriva. They're arguing with Moshe Rabbeinu that there was no water. No water. There's water, but they're not clean. They're not sweet. You cannot drink water like this. So everyone started to scream, why you brought us here to die from thirst? So Hashem said to Moshe, take a branch, there's a tree, take a branch, throw it into the water, and then the water will become clean. What's the connection between taking a dirty branch that is laying there in the mud, throwing it into the water, and all of a sudden the water become filtered? Why? Why Hashem didn't say, okay, I'll purify the water for you and give it to them? Why Moshe had to throw something in? Because the rule in life is that Hashem is interested that every person will do something. Effort, ishtadlut. Make an effort. You want to go and make a living, but you also want to learn Torah all day and all night. You don't want to waste your time going to the city, opening a store, merchandise, orders, shipments, customers, meetings. It will take you away from the Torah. You won't be able to work. So 1 hour a week dedicate to make an effort to make a living. What's the chance of supporting a family with 10 children with 1 hour a week to work? 0. Almost 0. So what's the point? The answer, the same thing of Batya Bat Paro. Batya Bat Paro, she saw Moshe Rabbeinu. She didn't know it's Moshe. She saw a box in the middle of the Nile. The Nile is a very big river. She reached her arm, and then the arm stretched. This one miracle that happened to her. The arm stretched very far and grabbed Moshe Rabbeinu and Meshitihu. That's why his name Moshe, Meshitihu from the water. So the commentators ask, what normal person that knows that the box is, 100 feet inside into the river, sends his hand? Yeah, you know he cannot reach, no? Because this is the way of life. You have to show Hashem that you make an effort. Even though the chance is 0 almost, 1 drop of a chance. You do something, then your chances that Hashem will do the rest for you is very high. You don't want to do anything, you decree on yourself not to succeed. But you make a little effort, you two there an hour a day. You do some, who can support the family with this? Don't worry, the money will come from a different source. You sell in the internet something. You put an ad somewhere that you have something to sell. Something. Hashem takes it, He sees it's an effort, and He helps you with the rest, against all odds. Over here, ויקרא שם המקום מסע ומריבה על ריב בני ישראל. The nation of Israel fought with Moshe. And what does it say right next? ועל נסותם את השם. And because they tested God. לאמור, היש השם בקרבנו עם עין. Is there is God among us or not? That's the arguments that they had with Moshe. Don't get the wrong idea here. They didn't question if God exists or not. You cannot question if you heard God, you heard Him. You know, Moshe Rabbeinu is the representative of God. You saw the ocean, you know, is splitting and all these things. You're not really questioning if God exists or not. No. Among us, is He helping us or is, you know, indifference is called to our situation? This is what many people say today. They don't say God doesn't exist. They say, where was God in the Holocaust? It's many people that you ask them why you don't keep mitzvot. They say, I'm not religious, I'm not a believer. Then when you begin to talk to them, they say the statement, I'm angry at God for not giving me this and this and that. I'm angry at Him for doing this and this and this to me. So I always say, you don't have a greater believer than someone who is angry at God. He's stupid, but he's a great believer. Why stupid? How can you be angry at your Creator? It's very foolish. But at least it's an indication that you are a believer. They say, I don't believe. Next thing they say, I'm very angry at Him. Why did He kill this and this, my parents in the Holocaust? Why did He make me go bankrupt? Why am I sick? So he's believing. He knows it's all come from Hashem. He just disagree with his decision. היש השם בקרבנו עם עין. And what happened right after that? ויבוא עמלק וילחם עם ישראל ברפידים. Why רפידים? Chazal say, רפו ידיהם. רפו means become weak. Their hands became weak. When a person is weak in his emunah, the problems begin. Every time your level of emunah drop, all the problems in your life begin. Sicknesses, problem, marriage problem, raising children problem, parnasa problem, depression problems, nothing is working. The emunah goes high, your life gets clean. One after the other, everything falls into place. Your emunah goes down, all the problems and depression and agony and pain and frustration doesn't leave you alone. So what's the most important thing in life? Always to work on your emunah. It's like a muscle. When you train him, it becomes stronger. You leave it for a month, right away, it becomes soft again. It doesn't stay strong forever. One time you made your muscle strong, what do you think it's going to stay like this for the rest of your life? You leave it a month or two, it's all become like water. The same thing emunah. You gain a high level of emunah, and you think, oh, yeah, that's it. I'm already in 80% emunah, very high. No, my friend. 2-3 weeks, you leave it, right away it goes down to 20, to 0 sometimes. This is really the one of the main thing in life. You know, one other thing is very important. Many of the problems who comes to us because of not saying the truth, not being honest. Not being honest with our thoughts, not being honest with our mouth. When a person lies a lot, he attracts a lot of tragedies to his life. The Kaf HaChaim, Falaji, is a very big Chacham that lived in Turkey more than 100 years ago. Kaf HaChaim is one of the most important halacha books for Sfaradim, also for Ashkenazim, but mainly for Sfaradim. And he writes, this is what he writes. When there is an epidemic in town, people are falling and dying non-stop, some kind of a disease that spreads. The first one who get hurt are the liars. It comes first of all to people who their mouth is not clean. From lying, from deceiving, tricking, misleading, all these tricks. White lies, gray lies, black lies.
White lies also?
White lies also, yeah. It's a lie. Yeah. Then, he used to be in Monsey, Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky. In the past, I told you a few stories about him, if you remember. Besides being a big chacham that have thousands of students that came out of him, one of the greatest thing about him, that he was extremely honest, who never made one lie in his entire life. One time I told you the story that when he was in his younger than 20 years old, he was in Russia, and the woman served fish, and he didn't like her fish. It was very, very bad, and he spit it. And she came out of the kitchen and she said, "Uncle, you don't like your fish? You don't like my fish?" He didn't want to insult her, so he said, "No, I don't like fish in general," because he didn't want to insult her. And then one of my first rabbis one time told me that story, that he was a student. And he said to him one time, "Rabbi, I noticed that you never eat fish. Is there any problem with the kashrut of the fish here? Maybe I should also not eat." He said, "No, God forbid, it's strictly kosher." "Well, you don't like fish?" He said, "I love fish. So I never eat fish. When I was 18, I was already in his 70s now. When I was 18, that's what happened to me. And I realized now I'm stuck for the rest of my life. If I eat fish, it will be retroactive, it will be a lie." You understand? So that's why I never touch fish, because I told her I don't like fish. That's it, I never ate fish. Now let me tell you a new story about him that I just heard today. A new story about him. What is the story? First of all, he passed away, I should say, when he was 97 years old. His mind was sharp, just like a teenage. 97 years old. And when he was 50 years old, you know, the Litvish, the Ashkenazim who follow the Gaon Mivilna, they don't put a second pair of tefillin. The Hasidim and the Sfaradim, they put Rabbeinu Tam. The Litvish, the Litaim, Lithuanians, they don't put a special pair of tefillin because the Gra say it's not necessary. This version of tefillin, Rabbeinu Tam. No. So, when he was 50 years old, one person came to him and said to him, "Rabbi, didn't you notice that the Chafetz Chaim put Rabbeinu Tam?" It's also Litvish, Chafetz Chaim. And he does put Rabbeinu Tam. So he said, the Chafetz Chaim is 90 years old. When I'll be 90, I also put Rabbeinu Tam. Which means leave me alone. When he became 90 years old, on his birthday, he got himself a pair of Rabbeinu Tam. 40 years he did not forget what he said when he was 50. I asked him, "Rabbi, you're 90 years old now, you got yourself, where are you all these years? Now you're 90 years old, you got another pair of brand new tefillin?" He said, "Yeah, I remember that 40 years ago when I was 50, somebody questioned me, and it came out of my mouth, accidentally. When I'll be in his age, when I'll be 90, I'll also put Rabbeinu Tam." And I did. I arrived to 90. Now I'm 90. I got to put. This is what the Torah says, "Et motza sfatecha tishmor." People don't see the reaction when they lie. They don't see what happened. They don't understand how it's affect their life. That's why they continue to do it every hour. They only see the impact of the lies on their life. They'll kill themselves. How much problems I bring to my life. And most of the lies, if you really examine, are really not necessary. Some people are so used to lie that it becomes fun for them. Just for the fun. What did you gain by this lie? Where were you? I went to Moshe, but he went to Yitzchak. No, what's the difference? He was here or there? Already doesn't care anymore. Everything. Or in a business, the customer already agreed to buy. I swear to you, it costs me more. I lose. Well, you need to talk. You're already counting the money. Because he doesn't have any, the lie means nothing to him. Customer is counting the money, already gave you the credit card, you're running it for the machine. He adds few more lies. Why? Because it means nothing to him. If he only knew what he just got now when he lied, kill himself, what a fool. I had the sale already. Why did I need to lie now? For nothing. What did I gain? And even if it looks like you gain something with these lies, think again. You gain $1, you lose $1 million. One king said to his servant, I want to warn you from one thing. If somebody ever comes to you and say, take your shirt off, never agree to take your shirt off. Never. So he said to him, why, your majesty? Why do you care if I take my shirt? Don't ask questions. Can I rely on you? Anyone who asks you to take your shirt off for whatever reason, never agree. Can I count on you? Yes. Yes, your majesty, yes. One day, somebody comes to him and say, hey, you know, we didn't know that you're a hunchback. He said, I'm not a hunchback. I'm perfectly straight. He said, I'm telling you, you are. No, I'm not. You are. Yes, no. They call the third person. So what do you think? It's hard to see without his clothing. With his clothing. You have to take your shirt and we'll know. So I'm not taking my shirt off. You thinking that I'm a hunchback? It's your problem. Leave me alone. He said, listen, I'll make a deal with you. If you agree to take your shirt and we'll see who is right or wrong, I'll give you $100,000. Here is the money. No. I'm not interested. No, here, the money is yours. Here, he's going to hold the money. Just take your shirt. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. If you're not, I'll give you $100,000. So you know what? I'll make $100,000 to my master. I'm sure he's going to forgive me for not keeping my word. So he took his shirt off. And he said, you're right. You're not a hunchback. Your back is perfectly straight. Okay, put your shirt on. Here is $100,000. He comes to the king. He's happy. He goes like this. Heavy suitcase, sweating. The king is looking at him. Said, what did you do? He said, don't worry. I didn't listen to you, but you're going to appreciate me. Here, $100,000 I made you in a minute. The king pulled his hair off. You fool. I had a bet with this guy that if he makes you take your shirt off, I give him $1 million. You understand? Don't think you know better than Hashem. Just listen to the Torah. In the end, you always win. Now, who knows what would be an indication that you love someone? How do you know if Reuven loves Shimon? If Shimon loves Sarah? What's the main indication about loving?
Giving.
What do you think?
Giving.
Kissing her? Hugging her? Huh?
Loving is giving.
Buying her nice flowers for Shabbat?
Flowers. Giving unconditional chocolate.
The answer here, he already said the answer. Today people think that loving is taking. But really to love someone means to give. Giving, it's an indication of love. Even in the Torah there is a verse that Hashem said that the ones who are his lovers, he keep the kindness from them for 1,000 generations. My lovers who keep my mitzvot, le'elef dor, for 1,000 generations. Indication of loving someone is willing to do unconditionally for him. Giving and giving and giving. Taking, it's not an indication of love. It's an indication of taking advantage of. This is what happened in this generation. It starts with the children. They don't want to do anything for the parents anymore. The parents became the servants of their children. Do this for me, pick me up, give me the car, give me money, buy this for me, take me here, make me a passport. Oh, a list of requests. It doesn't end. Do this, do that. Don't enter my room, give me that, I want that. Every day they come with a list of requests. In the previous generation, the kids served their parents. They were proud to serve their parents. Get water from the lake? Yes, Abba. Right away. Sew this for me? Right away. Do that? Right away. Everything without a beep. Yes, father. Yes, mother. Yes, father. Yes, mother. Even to the in-laws. Find one kid today that his parents give him an order and he gets up right away like a soldier and say, yes, Abba. Find one. Oof. I just did 5 minutes ago. Can you wait an hour? I'm tired. Tell him, tell her, why me all the time? That's when the world became completely spoiled. That's why everything is not successful anymore. No marriage, no nothing. If a person got used to get away with not doing for his parents when he grew up, and the parents became his servants, when it comes to the marriage, it's needless to say that my wife will be my servant. My mother was my servant. Who is she that she tell me that she's not going to make me what I need? Understand the mentality? That's why most of the marriages today, 2-3 months, problems begin. Right away. I'm not talking secular. Secular, the problem begins way before the marriage already. I'm talking a nice couple who came to the marriage. Wow, they see roses are flying in the air. 2-3 months. Rabbi, Shlom Bayit. When can we come? Well, I just got married. Come to the system, to the relationship with the wrong approach, with the wrong expectation. Instead of thinking, I'm now going to get married, that I should do for my wife, that I should do for my husband. How much more I can do for him, how much I can do for her. They come, how I can take advantage on him. What is she good for me? She has enough money for me? No, I don't need her. Oh yeah, good. She's this for me, she's going to bring me honor, respect, it would feed my ego, then I need her. If not, what do I need her for? Or the other way around. He has a nice car. I'm going to show off next to my friends. If not, what, he's going to take me on the bus? What do I need him? What kind of diamond your fiance got for you? $20 cubic zirconium. What a fool. You understand? But the Chilonim in Israel, one great sentence they invented. I don't know if they did or not, but I give them the credit, the benefits of the doubt. They invented mamash like the level of Chazal. צוחק מי שצוחק אחרון. The one who laughs, right now it doesn't matter. The one who laughs in the end, that's what counts. Who laughs in the middle, big deal. Who laughs in the end, that's what counts. Who laughs in...
It's Russian made.
Huh? It's Russian? Yeah, and the Israeli communist, a lot of the things that we have in Israel came from Russia. No, I'm serious. All the songs, all the military songs, it's all communist. Because who were the funders of Israel? Anti-religious, communist Jews. What's the whole concept? Until this day, you cannot break communism from Israel Constitution. Until today, you have the Istadrut, like the union here, but much worse, mamash like in Russia. Haver Istadrut, a member of the union. It's all based on the Russian concept. The whole thing, kibbutz, moshav, it's basically communism. That they own everything. You don't really own anything. No matter how talented you are, everything is yours. It really belongs to them. But it's changing. Let's talk about a few other things now. And then if you have questions, then I move on to my next lecture. Let's see. The Chazon Ish The Chazon Ish, one of the greatest rabbis in the last 100 years, this is what he wrote. The Chazon Ish wrote like this. Im Adam hu Baal Nefesh, if a person has a soul, Ush'ato sh'at hasheket, and he reached a level that he has a peace of mind. Some people never reach it all their life. Not one moment of peace of mind. Not one moment. Their entire life. Don't take it for granted. If you have 10 minutes here and there that you have a peace of mind, that you can focus, don't take it for granted. It's a great gift. And he has a peace of mind called Mavadaka, complete silence in his life. It's him and Hashem like crazy glue. Connects. That's it. Nothing else exists for him. Chofshi mira'avon ta'avani. His language is very high, very high. Take the professor in the university, half of the words he uses they don't even understand. Very high level he speaks. Chofshi mira'avon ta'avani. Free from physical hunger, material hunger. Watch, suit, car, what kind of gel I'm gonna put in my hair, what earring today I'm gonna go to the disco with a star, with a diamond, I put one, I put two, what kind of spray, what kind of bracelet, how would I come with a car that everyone would see me? Such miserable creatures. It's not even aware how miserable he is. That's even the big. What we have to cry for is really not that we such low lives. We have to cry that we are not aware of our situation. For that we really have to cry. Then we'll have time to cry about our situation. First we have to cry that we reach such low level and we think we are perfectly fine. What do you want, Rabbi? I'm Shomer Shabbat. Psh, with such pride. Rabbi, I'm wearing skirts. This is what the person thinks. What's better? I'm gonna go back to my tight jeans? If you think like this, you never reach, you never cross the red line. Person think I'm okay, can never elevate himself. Person that think, wow, what a loser I am. Look at this guy compared to me. We started together. He's already writing books. He already wrote Sefer Torah. He is writing tefillin, mezuzot, he's shochet, moel, teaching Torah. And what am I? Selling bracelets in 47 to the Chinese. Come, Mr. Lee. This is what I am. Cannot even read Rashi. Bring me Gemara. How do you hold it, Rabbi? He starts with me. This is the right way to think. It's called Kinat Sofrim Tarbe Chokhmah. Your friend is very modest. Don't talk bad against her to make yourself look high. Admit that you are very low and she's very high. I'm very jealous with her. I wish I can reach her level. That's the right way. Today, when a person cannot reach a certain level because he's lazy, so when somebody brag or somebody praise somebody else that is very good in religion, it drives him crazy. So instead of admitting that I really did not do the right thing, and he has to bring him down also to feel good. Nah, don't think she's so righteous. Believe me, you don't know anything. They do it in a clever way. They didn't say Lashon Hara. You say much worse. Sometimes saying one sentence Lashon Hara specifically, it's not as bad as just saying something general. You don't know anything about her. That's much worse. Well, this person, who knows what he imagined? Who knows his imagination already? What he's thinking about this is the power of Lashon Hara. It's enough you go like this. Don't say a word. Believe me, I swear I didn't say one word about her or him. I just went like this. That's why the Shidduch never took place. And the rest is history. So the Chazon Ish say, free from materialistic hunger. Then he finally can see the world in clear eyes. What do we learn from this? Listen good. That when a person is addicted, she's addicted to her $5,000 wig. My wife told me there's a gym for ladies that comes to lose some weight a little bit. Half of them do not take their wig when they run. How can you run with a wig? They don't want, maybe some of the goyot would look at them that they're not so fancy when she ran on a treadmill. She's embarrassed to put this, whatever, the bandana, the snood. Maybe the American Goya would think that she's primitive. Nobody thinks what Hashem thinks. What the Goya may think, or the other one. So, only then a person can see the world in clear eyes. A person cannot enjoy from his action unless if he has attention and is conscious to what he does. A person doesn't pay attention to what he does, he cannot enjoy from what he's doing. In order for a person to enjoy what he does, he has to put a lot of thoughts to his actions. The prophet Jeremiah 12 verse 1, this is what he said. Tzadik ata Hashem, Hashem, you are righteous. Ki ariv elecha, that I should fight with you, argue with you. Ach mishpatim adaber otcha, but allow me to talk to you, not to argue, just to talk to you. Madua derech reshain tzlecha. I'm asking like an ignorant fool. Not, God forbid, I argue with you. Please teach me why the wicked people succeed in this world. Not, God forbid, that I'm disagreeing with your decisions. No. I just want to learn. Torah. I want to learn. I want to know the truth. I don't understand. Really, I have a big question about the Navi Yirmiyahu. Navi Yirmiyahu. It's a real Navi. Speaking to Hashem. Who? Anybody here speaks to Hashem sometimes? Not yet, no? All day you're in the Facebook, you want to speak to Hashem? Come on. But the prophet speaks to Hashem, but I don't understand. What is he saying? He's asking Hashem why the wicked people succeed. But we have the answer in the Torah, in the end of Parashat Va'etchanan. Every fool knows it. Every beginner. You read the Torah once, this is something you never forget. I am the strict God who reward my lovers who keep my mitzvot for 1,000 generations and pay my enemies, my haters, cash to their face to destroy them. I will not delay their payment. I will pay them right away to erase them. So it's an answer in the Torah. Why is he asking? But the question is not about Prophet Yirmiyahu. The question is about Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu asked this question. Ribono shel olam, tzadik v'ra lo, rasha v'tov lo. It's in Masechet Brachot. Why they ask? Now it's for us an opportunity to understand what a prophet is. There were many prophets in history, many. But only 48 of them are registered. And 7 female. And 6 goyim. But 48 and 7, that's it. Why not all the others? Every prophet who gave a prophecy for generations to come is considered in a list. We count him. People that gave a prophecy only to specific time, no. That was a temporary prophecy. It's nothing to teach to the world. We don't count them. Why do you think the prophet or Moshe Rabbeinu, which is the master of all prophets, they asked this question? No, they knew the answer. Moshe wrote the Torah, he knew, he wrote the answer in his own hands. For us, the Torah is for all levels of people. Even to the most ordinary person, the Torah is the answers to generations. The prophet asked in order for him to write for us the answer. Same thing Moshe Rabbeinu, and it is all in a Gemara in Masechet Brachot. Prophet Yeshaya, Isaiah, this is what he says. ואמרת ביום ההוא, עודך השם כי ענפת בי. And at that day, I will say to you, God, I thank you for being angry at me. ישוב אפך ותנחמני. Hopefully you return from your anger and you comfort me. What? The future to come, every Jew will understand why all the tragedies happen. For the nation of Israel and for me in person. Everything will be clear. Right now, almost nothing is clear. Why at flat tire? You don't know. Why your best friend is a big tzaddik and he has cancer? It's an epidemic now. Every day there's more cancer cases than yesterday. If it continues like this, in a few years from now, it'll be almost every person. You have no idea what's going on here. Nobody knows what's the root of it. The answer is, I don't understand. It's in the Torah. I will bring you the machala mam'eret. The Torah says, machala that it spreads in the body. וישליך בך את המארה. מה זה מארה? מחלה ממארת. That it expands, it takes away all the body. It's in the Torah. 67 years ago, do you remember one cancer case? When I was a kid, nobody knew what it is. Even 40 years ago, it was very rare. Now, every 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes, without the text, it's already a miracle. So what's going to be in the end? Everyone will get it? You have no idea what's going on here. Righteous people, big rabbis, even people who sit learn Torah get it. Why? Why righteous people get it? A woman walks naked on the street and she gets breast cancer. You can argue. Maybe Hashem punished her for not listening to him, the way she dressed. But if a person sits and learns Torah and get up 4 in the morning and go to the mikveh and sit 13, 14 hours a day and learn, and he's honest, he loves Hashem, he's faithful husband, his wife very modest, he's 100% clean. Why is he getting it? The answer is, before Mashiach come, it's like a pregnancy, Chazal say. In the first month, you don't feel that you're pregnant. A little bit vomiting here and there, that's it. Second, third, fine. Fourth, nothing. You can go on a flight, you can go jogging, you can do whatever you want. 4, 5, 6, it's beginning to be heavy a little bit. 7, wow, hard. Especially in Israel. It's hard. 8, already harder. 9, oh, I can't move. Help me out, help me out. But in the 9th month, every day is harder than yesterday. But when is it becoming really, really hard? The last few hours. 9 months is almost nothing. The contractions, every hour, every half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, every 3 minutes, every 20 seconds. Scream, push, get out of here. The Mashiach came. Hevle Leda. That's what the Gemara said. Now we are in Mamash, in the giving birth. Mamash, this is the moments now. Soon the bomb will be dropped, revolution, 9 minutes, the world will be destroyed, 4 billion people will be wiped out. Then you hear the shofar. Just read Zachary 14, you know what's going to happen any minute. The question is, where are we going to be that moment? Remember, a minute before, you can still make tshuva. You can say, okay, Hashem, I surrender. Enough with my nonsense. No more disco, Motzi Shabbos. Okay. See it, I learned. Enough with my thing. Enough with television, enough with internet, enough with movies, enough with the goyish style, the way I dress, enough with gel in my hair, enough with earrings, enough with my Christine girlfriend, enough. A minute before it will help you. A minute after it's too late. En mekablim gerim bimot Mashiach. cannot accept converts when Mashiach arrived already. Why? Big deal. If Hitler and Eichmann will be alive, they run to convert. Rabbi, please give us a chance. They hear the shofar of Eliyahu Hanavi, the mountain of the olives in Jerusalem split, all the prophecies are coming into reaction. What do you think? If you think that the Nazis did not believe in God, you're completely hallucinating. Read their books, interviews. There are many of their books. They were great believers. Now, how did he become such monsters? How a Jew is a great believer, learns Torah, and then still in his business in 47th Street? How when Christine come to measure a diamond, he adds an extra $1,000 to the price without her realizing if he learns Torah all day? How can it be? Just learning, just putting $2 on your head and growing a beard for free doesn't really make you a better person, like some people may think. If you don't make a root canal to your personality, cleaning a good dentist that did not clean the root, what's closing, putting him a $2,000 crown. But the root is rotten. 2-3 days, his head will become balloon. What happened, Moshe? I gained weight, I don't know. He didn't clean the roots. To clean the root, it's very painful. It hurts. Especially by me. 4 shots and I still jump to the ceiling. That's the price of eating candy when you're young. Coca-Cola, candy, licorice, this, that. 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Then now the payments arrive like everything in life. The bill arrived. Mommy, I got a new credit card. Today, it's the smile. 45 days later, it's the cry. She went shopping, Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills. Wow, life is great. $15,000 came, interest, penalty. How am I going to pay? I have to make bankruptcy. Many people think, I'll do whatever I want. I'll change the sign in a business. I'll change the corporation. I'll do bankruptcy and I'll start fresh. It's America, the free land, the free country. They announce on the radio, hurry up. Before the laws of bankruptcy are about to be changed, take advantage. You can fool everyone. Bankruptcy does not clean you in your trial. When you come to Shamayim, every dollar you owe Ahmed, Muhammad, Mustafa, Bruce Lee, Fatma, doesn't matter who. You still have to give them the money. But what? I made bankruptcy. It's according to the law. If the law is corrupt, if the law said to do abortion is legal, you're allowed to murder babies just because the Constitution of the United States allow it? Who cares about what they say? If the law in Israel allowed to do certain things and it's against Hashem, the law makes it legal? Who cares about the law? The law is foolish people like me and you did it. Nobody cares about their laws. If the law comply with the law of the Torah, no, why not? I'll give them respect. Finally, they did something positive. But if the Torah says 2 men cannot get married and they allow it, I care about what they say. If you care about what they say, you're wicked just like they are. And if you sit in their court as a judge with a yarmulke, there's no bigger Chilul Hashem than this. The judge of Yigal Amir, the murderer of Yitzhak Rabin, had a yarmulke on his head. Why do you think they put him in a court? A religious Jew judged a religious Jew. That the religious people won't say it wasn't a fair trial. But what kind of religious Jew it was? Sit in a secular court and go against the Torah every day with his trials, with his verdicts? Before we finished, 1 or 2 more things and we're done for today. It says like this. I ask why righteous people are dying, why they're suffering. The answer is in Shir HaShirim. Dodi arad legano lilkot shoshanim. Dodi is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He comes down to his garden and he picked up the roses. Every righteous person who get cancer, 1,000 secular other that should have died, just get another 10, 20 years opportunity to make repentance. He goes to heaven, don't worry about him. He got what he deserved. We cry for him because we miss him. We need the tzaddikim here, especially if they teach Torah. But in his death, he just gave 10,000 other an opportunity to repent. This is what it says. Chazal says, "Atzadik avad," the righteous person is gone. Ki mipnei hara ne'esaf atzadik. Prophet Yeshaya said, because of all the evilness of the nation, Hashem picked up the tzaddikim instead of destroy the entire nation. So he take 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. What's better, to take 20 bodies and send them to heaven, or to take 20,000 people? You know what a destruction mentally it's going to be if 20,000 people would die in one incident? Imagine something that happened in Egypt a few days ago, that they're fighting over a stupid ball. They kicked the ball. 75 Egyptians died in a soccer game. If something like this would happen in Israel, 1 year, nobody would be able to function. 75 people die in a stupid soccer game. In Egypt, continue to kill each other. 60 million Egyptians, no, another 100, another one less. When a Jew he goes to prison, thousands of terrorists are released for one Jew. The whole world understands the level of a Jew. He's a son of God. For good and for bad. Two Jews entering the shul. 2-second difference. One enter, 2-3 seconds later, another one enter. The first one understood that Hashem has no difference between the righteous and the wicked and destroyed both of them equally. The second one understood that Hashem that is guarding the righteous people and also the wicked people. The first one understood that Hashem destroyed everyone, the righteous and the wicked. And the second one understood that Hashem saved everyone, the righteous and the wicked. And they both enter to the same synagogue in 2-second difference. How can it be? Who knows? When did they enter? And what pasuk? The answer is, we say in Ashrei Yoshvei Betecha, Shomer Hashem et kol ohavav ve'et kol haresha'im yashmid. First person enter, Shomer Hashem et kol ohavav ve'et kol haresha'im. The other one enter, et kol ohavav ve'et kol haresha'im yashmid. 2-second difference, one word difference. One heard 90% of the verse and came out. One enter and heard an extra word, and now he changed the entire thing. The difference between the truth and the false can be mamash a second, one word. 1 inch, 1 dot, you enter an internet address. 10 words, you didn't put dot. It doesn't go, error. Try all day, all night to send that email, the dot, make a change. But everything else is the same. The difference, some women say, Rabbi, you think Hashem care if my short cover my elbow or not? If my shirt is to here or to here, that's what Hashem care? The difference between heaven and hell is 1 inch. Yes, 100%. You shoot at a person. The bullet went 1/2 inch next to his head, or hit his head. Over here, you execute it. Over there, nobody does anything to you. Nobody knows, because he didn't die. No murder investigation, he got away with that. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. I remember when I was a soldier, in the base there's a big machine that washes the dishes. Very long machine, it goes like, it circles. And there's 2 big doors, very heavy door, metal door, very heavy. Maybe 50 pounds each, at least. And you have to pick them up, you have to be very strong, and you hang them on a hook. You pick it up and hang it on a hook, and then you pick it up and bring it down. And when you put it on a hook, you put your head inside, and with a brush you clean the machine. Every once in a while you do maintenance. I remember there was one blonde soldier, Chaim his name, don't remember his name. This Ashkenazi soldier and me, we cleaning now the machine. This is our shift now. I put my head in and he's on the other side. I clean. I suffer from my back. So after bending down more than a minute or two, I'm dying from pain. So I have to take my head out and stay and rest about 20, 30 seconds and then bend down again. And I always complain, why I suffer from my back? And that's what saved my life. I felt pain. I took my head out. The door fell. Why? The other idiot, he was angry at the job. So he smashed the other door. Boom! He shook the entire machine, so that door on the other side also fell. It would chop my head off. Mamash, not even an inch. I felt it on my hair. The difference between life and death. You understand? This is why a person has to be very careful in his life, in every little detail. Tefillin, 100%. Shabbat, 100%. Modesty, 100%, not 90%. If you finally do it right. Learning, no telephone, no breaking, no getting up, no tea, coffee, bathroom, up, down. You're drinking tea, so now you need bathroom. In between, bathroom, telephone, beep, this, text. From 1 hour, you learn 30 minutes. Finally, you come to learn 30 minutes. You do it right. The last thing for today, the Ramchal, I get these questions all the time. Rabbi, Goyim has a soul or no? Many people ask this question. Even the Gentiles ask. Are we different than the Jews? We read in the Torah that we're different than the Jews, the Gentiles ask. But what really is the difference? So let me read to you the words of the Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, one of the greatest Kabbalists who ever lived. And this is what he writes. In the book, Derech Hashem, The Way of God, chapter 2, part 2, chapter 4. A Goy, a non-Jew, has a soul in a lower level than the soul of a Jew. But among the Gentiles, there are many different levels of souls, just like among the Jews. What is it like? Let me give you an example. You have the leagues, first league, second league, third league. In a league, you have now today in Israel, in a soccer league, I think they have like 16 teams. I don't know if it's still the same, but it used to be 16 teams, from 1 to 16. The last 3 are dropping to the second league in the end of the season, the last 3. And the first 3 from the second league are going to the first league. So there's teams exchanging from one league to another. Sometimes you take right now in the middle of a season a team that is in the 4th place in the second league and make a game between them and a team that is in the 14th place in the first league, and the team from the second league win the game. They're better actually. By the end of the season, they're going to go to the first league and they're going to go to the second. But right now, the other team is better. You see, they play better. They're much better. This is exactly how the comparison between a soul of a Jew to a non-Jew. Sometimes you see a Goy, he speaks Divrei Torah, is much better than the Jew. The Jew is completely black, not interested, is allergic to Hashem. And the Goy, his eyes coming out. Where can I convert? That's exactly the point. In the Goyim, there's different level. There's a soul, everything Jewish he hates. And there is a soul, everything about God is just give me more and more and more. And also about the Jews. Some people secular. 5 minutes you talk to them, you see on their eyes what a special soul this person has. Don't have to do anything, just 5 minutes to talk. And some of them 5 million hours you talk, and it's black. The answer is different levels of souls. And it says like this. In reality, after all, if you have the team that is in the first place in the second league and a team that is in the 12th place in the first league, who's rated higher? The other one is top. The other one is number 12. But really rating, he is in the first league and he's in the second league. The one in the first league is rated better. The heaven and hell of the Jews is different than the Goyim. The heaven is a much higher level, but it's much harder to get there. The hell is worse, and it's much easier to get there, because it's enough. You don't do 20-30% of your obligations, you're in a serious problem. The Goy, 7 laws he keeps, is righteous. He doesn't keep, is wicked, but very little. The reward and the punishment is also very limited. Well, once they convert, it's like going from the second league into the first league. My friend, over here, every game is much harder. Much, much harder. Big money, big contracts, publicity. The stadiums is packed with people. Different league. Much harder. Much greater reward. Or bigger embarrassment. If you play in a top league and you're a loser, everybody knows about you that you're a loser. But in the second league, not that many people knows. You know, it's not so famous. I just went now to Israel. One of my childhood hero. When I was a kid, I was standing on the side of the field, seeing him how he was playing. We used to be kids. What did we know from our life? He was our hero. He was serving me lunch in a restaurant as a waiter. And my cousin told me, you know who this guy is? I say, no. So remember who was our hero when we were 30 years ago kids? That's him. So I say to him, oh, we grew up on you. You were a legend for us. So I saw in his eyes how red he became, his face. See, when no one knows who he is, he's not embarrassed to be a waiter. Well, when people recognize his glorious days, now all of a sudden, but I right away started to talk Divrei Torah to him. I didn't give him enough time to be embarrassed. Right away, started to talk. Apparently, the guy knows a lot of Torah. How do you know Torah? So everyone in my family was religious. But he went to play on Shabbat. All his family were religious, but he wanted soccer. Where did the soccer get him to? Is he a millionaire? No. Is he somebody that everyone jealous with? No. And he was telling me about surgery here, surgery there, he cannot do this, he cannot do there. One of his brothers, who did not become famous for X amount of years, kept Torah and mitzvot. One day both of them will die. The anonymous brother goes to heaven, and this famous guy dies as a waiter and has no share to the world to come because he doesn't keep Shabbat. You understand what's going on here? That's what happens when a person doesn't know what he lives for. He doesn't understand. Okay, I think it's enough for today because I have another lecture. Any questions before we end? Even on things we didn't speak about. So I want to compliment you again. I'm surprised many people came in a night like this. On the way here, he said, oh, we didn't calculate the right day. It's a Super Bowl. Nobody would come. I said, we have to do what we have to do. Who comes, doesn't come, it's not in our hand. But everyone who came and loved sport and gave it up to come hear the words of Torah, is going to be able to use it for his protection in a judgment day. Remember this. When you stand in front of Hashem and Hashem will complain to you that you didn't learn enough Torah, say Hashem, but don't remember that everyone was sitting, watching some stupid throw a piece of screaming, eating, jumping, drinking beer. I came and I sat and listened to 2-hour lecture. I promise you will help you. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Amen. Chazak u'baruch.